Hello, cruisers. This is Rick Wade, the Texas Cruiser. Hunkering down tonight. We're waiting on that hurricane barrel to come in. It should be coming in to the east of Matagorda Bay, and that's going to put her fairly close to us here in the northern part of Galveston County as she comes in. And we've been through a few hurricanes here before, so anyway, I think we'll be doing fine. We've been busy, securing the house and everything, getting provisions lined up in case we need them. The main thing we always worry about is losing power, and I have the generator ready to run whenever we need to. Got extra fuel for it today, and got all the provisions, like I said, and also, a good thing about Ford, I'm a Ford guy, my truck has an outlet on it, and I can run my truck, some electricity off my truck, so I'm excited about that in case I need it. I do have battery packs and, like I said, the generator and stuff like that. I don't expect us to lose power or lose it for a short period of time. One time during the Ike, we lost it for like over 48 hours, and that was a little bit of a stretch. We borrowed a generator from a neighbor. Now I have one that I own myself. I don't have to go hunting up a generator. So anyway, we'll be fine, I'm sure. In case, and the only thing I worry about is them tornadoes, and they said that there's possibility this storm will generate some tornadoes. So we'll keep an eye on that. But anyway, the story, what I'm trying to get at here is that my topic is hurricanes and cruising. That's going to be my next column. Hopefully it'll be out next Saturday. If not, it'll be the next Saturday after that. I'm going to try to get out of this Saturday so it'll be a little more topical. And I have been, like I said, I've been cruising since 1988. And there's been a few times I had to be on a cruise ship during storms and stuff like that. Never really had to go through a storm, except one time we did go through a tropical storm. I remember it was Arlene. And was on, I'm pretty sure it was Rhapsody of the Seas. And we had to go into, and actually it was one of our stops, but we had to skip it because of the tropical storm there, Arlene. But we had to go in to drop off in a medical emergency. So as soon as they got the passenger off onto a boat to go to shore for medical attention, we turned around and went back out to sea. And it was more like being out there during a thunderstorm and stuff, an extended thunderstorm. The waves, of course, are rocked a little bit, but I do, and I'll be talking about that in my next column about seasickness. But I do have devices for that. I do have. I've tried them all. Dramamine, the patch behind the ear, which works very well, by the way, and also Bonine. That's the latest one that I started using, and I don't know if it's caused. I've never been seasick ever since we got about 15, 20 years now cruising. I haven't been seasick, and I think the Bonine works pretty well. I don't seem to get the drowsy effect from that. People say it makes you thirsty and all. Well, hey, I'm gonna be drinking anyway, so beer, whatever, So anyway, one time we went on a cruise, Carnival Breeze. We went out of Galveston. It's one time I did a quick cruise. Usually, when I do a cruise, I do like a year, maybe sometimes almost 2 years in advance. As soon as I find that the ship's available for sailing. And I really like the ship, and I want to experience the ship, and I want to do this particular itinerary, I'll book it right away. And generally, I do pretty good on the cruise rates doing it that way. You book that's a tip. Book early, and you can get some of the best rates that will be offered. Now, one thing I have done is I continually watch the cruise rates for that particular cruise, and if it drops, I go and have my travel agent rebook it and go to the lower rate. And I have saved some money doing it that way. But anyway, I did a booking 45 days before the cruise, and I was on the Carnival Breeze. I was trying to get on the Royal Caribbean Liberty of the Seas, but they were booked up. especially in the junior suite category, which is what I was trying to grab. But I got the Breeze, Carnival Breeze, at a pretty good rate. And the good thing we did, I went up to the upgrade suite, Superior Suite, and my daughter and her boyfriend wanted to go with us, so we wound up having 4 adults in the cabin. So it's a good thing we went with a bigger cabin. And we left out of Galveston. A storm was coming up through the Caribbean, and it became Harvey. And we had to jumble up the itinerary. We didn't miss anything, but we had to do the reverse order and all that stuff. That's another thing. Cruise tip, folks. Be flexible on your itineraries. Sometimes you have to move them around. So we did that. We didn't miss any of the stops, but we did reverse it. Went to Cozumel last. And so we were supposed to go to Cozumel first, but we went last. And I went to Belize and Honduras. It was a very enjoyable cruise. We went to Cozumel just as the tail end of Harvey went through and went across the Gulf. That's when things started getting a little hairy. And Galveston, Harvey hit, and they started seeing that the port has notified the cruise line that they're shutting the port down. And so when we at Cozumel, the captain decided to stay there for 2 days. That's interesting, man. Staying in Cozumel for 2 days. Actually, I'm excited about that because I love Cozumel. So we stayed in Cozumel for 2 days, and then when we left Cozumel, he kind of did a slow roll across the Gulf, and it looked like things were not going well back home. I had to call one of my friends to give me a checkup on the house, and he let me know real quick. Said, "No, your house is high and dry." But I lived in League City at that time, just north of Galveston, and over 7,000 houses in League City flooded from Harvey. That's how bad Harvey was. And so they took us to New Orleans, and we stayed 3 days in New Orleans with 2 other ships from the Carnival, both of them out of Galveston. And I can't remember the life of me, I think Dream, and I can't think of the name of the other ship that was there with us. And we stayed there. We actually went in the first day before the other 2 showed up, and a lot of people left the ship. About half the ship passengers left, and they went home. Now, to say this is that usually the ships coming out of Galveston, a good 50% of it, so it's from outside the area, outside the state even. And we, as Texans, a lot of us, like I told my wife, said, "Man, we can't go back home because they're not going to let us go back home because all the storming and stuff is still going on, and the flooding and all." So we decided to stay on board the ship. So since we did that one day, we went in there and got fresh entertainment from some of the other ships there, and we came back out and anchored on the little channel going into New Orleans. And the other 2 ships went in there, and they had a day in there. Then they turned around, they came on out. They were getting ready to go to Galveston because Galveston was starting to open up the port. We were going to be the last one to come back, so we went on into New Orleans, spent the whole day in New Orleans. I gotta say, Carnival took very good care of us. Oh, by the way, whenever all those people left, we had a nice little party aboard the ship with fewer people. That was pretty neat. Mike Pack was the cruise director. I'm not big on naming cruise directors, but I do remember Mike Pack from Carnival on that ship. So, and he did an awesome job keeping us hopping and enjoying ourselves and all that, in spite of all that we were worried about back home. So, anyway, after we get through that day, the next morning we left out New Orleans and headed for Galveston. And it was a 7-day cruise became 13-day cruise. Now, what I'm trying to get at is, folks, these captains, cruise lines, they do not want anybody injured, don't want anybody hurt, nobody have any ill effects from being on a cruise in a storm. Now, they can go through tropical storms fine. Like I said, I've been through one in tropical storm. It's not, and the ships back in those days were not the big mega ships that we have today. These guys, man, you could probably hardly feel them moving from the effects of the storms and all that. One time on Rhapsody, we went out of Galveston and went through some 17-foot seas going through the Gulf. That's because a hurricane had gone across the mouth of it didn't come in the Gulf, but it went across the end of between Yucatan and went on into Florida and all that. It got the Gulf stirred up. So that's where the 17-foot waves, and it hit the bow and it went over the, kind of splashed up on the ship. We got in the Caribbean, smooth as silk. It was a great cruise. Cozumel, I think went to Cayman and Jamaica on that one. And I want to tell you, folks, it's these captains, they do a great job of steering the ships. These ships are built very well to handle these waves and activities. But like I said, they're not going to cause any harm to passengers by going through storms or hurricanes or severe storms. Of course, everybody sees on these videos that there's been very, very rare circumstances where a captain should have zigged instead of zagged, and the storms. These storms get unpredictable sometimes, yes, and they have to go through a little bit of wave activity out there and cause some issues. But that's extremely rare. And these captains, Royal Caribbean has 3 meteorologists on staff, and they work with the cruise lines and the captains on the ships, and they tell them what they need to do, what direction to go in to avoid certain areas of the storms and stuff. So yesterday, Breeze and Jubilee left Galveston. No problem. They're not going to have any problem. They probably got a little bit of weather going out across the Gulf. Now, Harmony and Dream came in this morning, and they actually, way they did it, they wound up having 2 sea days. Harmony did anyway, coming across the Gulf. They did 9 knots. That's about half speed across the Gulf. And they came into the regular time, but they I think they skipped Honduras, Roatan. They did hit Cozumel and Costa Maya, but they did skip Honduras, and that way they get on up into the Gulf. And both of them got into port today, and they got their passengers, but they turned around and left early. Not so early for Dream. Dream usually is around 3:30, 3:40-ish. They left at 3, and then Harmony left about 3:40. They got out of here. As soon as Harmony pulled on out of here with their passengers, they shut the port down. The port shut down at 4 o'clock today. The Galveston port is shut down. Now, what we have a problem is the Mariner's offshore. She's been doing a slow steam across the Gulf and try to steer away from a little bit of Barrow, but Barrow's far enough to the west of the Gulf that it's not going to create too. I mean, it may have some rain or a little activity, wave activity, but not bad. But anyway, Mariner's offshore waiting to come in. But unfortunately for Mariner, the port shut down. And chances, and Barrow's going to come on in here. They're going to come pretty close to my house. Barrow is the eye of the storm. So, and we're just, I guess, about 25, 30 minutes north of Galveston. And so, Mariner's going to have to hold offshore, and they're going to lose a day. They're going to come in on Tuesday instead of Monday morning, and the passengers on board is going to have to stay on board for another day. And I know Mariner's going to take good care of them for it. Like I said, I've been on one that's 7-day became a 13-day during Harvey. They're going to be well taken care of, and Mariner's a good ship to be stuck on. Let me put it that way. I enjoy being stuck on the Breeze, and the Mariners. They got a lot to do on the Mariner, I'm sure. And actually, that Mariner's on a 4-day cruise. That ship's really good enough for a 7-day cruise to experience all that it has. So these people get a chance to experience. It won't be a dull moment on there for them. And so, but what I'm trying to get at is that don't be afraid to go. I've seen a lot of people say, I'm not ever going to go sail during hurricane season. I have sailed on hurricane season since 1988 by 75% of the time. And I have never had a bad cruise. I may have some cruise where there's a little bit of weather to experience, but like I said, the cruisers take very good care of you. The captains and their corporate offices will going to keep them going where they need to go. If they need to be flexible, if they need, the itinerary may change totally up. It may not even go the same places, but be flexible and understanding. I was disappointed when we missed Cayman that time to drop off that medical emergency. Cayman's one of my favorite islands, but I understood why. As soon as they dropped the passenger off, I went up to the bar and got myself another beer. So that's just what it is. And I was safe, and I'm able to keep cruising. But anyway, don't blame the captains because they're trying to take good care of you. But folks, I'm going to write about more experiences and more stuff about cruising and during hurricane season in my column. Get a chance to read it. I'll post it on my Facebook page, Texas Cruiser. I'll also post it on my Royal Caribbean Harmony of Seas Galveston page and my Carnival Jubilee Galveston page. I have those. I created both those pages, so you get it on good read. I have a lot of my columns posted on both of those pages, all those pages, and get a chance to read some stuff I've written. I wrote about transatlantic crossings in my last column. Wrote about MSC cruises, the history of MSC, which was really, I heard a lot of people say it was very interesting. So I love doing research on my columns. So yeah, I'm also open to suggestions. Somebody suggested me about riding by hurricanes and stuff, and they said he told me, he said, "Man, Rick, you got some great stories about cruising during hurricanes." I said, "Well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea," and it's very topical. So I want to tell you, folks, it gets some good rates. I don't like cruising during the summer, but whenever late August gets here, I'm ready to get on board a ship. And as we're getting around peak hurricane season, August, September, and October, I got more cruises planned during that time of the year in the future years, and I'll continue doing it because I love that time of year. I love spring, I love fall, and I love winter. Summers I try to steer away from because there's a lot of families and stuff, and let them have the ships, and I'll pick it up when they get off. Anyway, folks, hit like and subscribe on my channel. I will keep doing more videos and informal stuff, and when I get a chance, I'll do another one here pretty quick about seasickness. I'm going to do some more research on that. I'll be writing it in a column before my column comes out. I'll get on here on YouTube and do a little report about that. Anyway, you guys be safe. All you Texans who live down here around my area, Galveston County, Missouri, Houston area, be safe. You hunker down. I know a good friend of mine, Favor Fenwick, she's up there in Katy. She's the one that has Life of Favor on YouTube. She's a very neat lady. Watch her videos. She got some great cruise videos too. She's very entertaining, and I love watching her, and I'm very happy to have her as a friend. Keep her in your prayers because it looks like the eye's going to probably go right over the top of her house. So I'm going to be concerned about her till I hear after the hurricane go by and I hear from her. But anyway, Life of Favor on YouTube. She has a bevy of great videos. She's one of my mentors. So you get a chance, do that, and keep her in your prayers. And all the other Texans down here, you guys be safe, hunker down, and we'll be seeing you on a cruise, I hope, very, very soon. Bye-bye.